let's get into some news then. So lots and lots to cover today. We'll end with one topic so we can get into a trailer. We'll start with something. I think this is all interesting news. Some of it's good news. Some of it's, to me, not good news. Let's start with something good here. The Punisher. Looks like we're going to get a little standalone Punisher from Marvel, because we got the Daredevil
like
return
a movie?
here. I can't remember if it was a movie or a TV show. I can look that up super fast. But we will get him in his own little thing. I want to say it was like a special, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Punisher with Jon Bernthal. Yeah, it's going to be a Werewolf by Night style special, like how they did with like the holiday special, Christmas, the Guardians thing.
Oh, okay.
So it's one of those like basically a movie, probably length, with the Punisher probably right after. I would assume right after or right before we see him in Daredevil, the show that starts very soon. That starts next month. That Daredevil show. So yeah, we're getting more Punisher from the Netflix.
I guess maybe I'll need to watch the old Punisher then.
I didn't watch any of it, so I think I watched like an episode,
okay.
and I thought it was like good, but I didn't like keep watching. I don't know. Punisher is like a character that's like there. I'm not like exactly like huge fan or anything. I mean,
I mean, I like Jon Bernthal, so I should have watched it, but
yeah.
I didn't watch all of Daredevil, so that's kind of what held me back.
Yeah. I mean, I believe the Punisher is a good one. I don't know.
I mean, the problem was I wanted to watch all of them, and I got burned out on Luke Cage and Jessica Jones, and then by the time Daredevil and
Iron Fist.
Yeah, I did. I don't know if I watched the whole thing, but
yeah, we definitely.
I just was burnt out.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, the Defender show was so horrible. That should have been like a slam dunk. It's like Sigourney Weaver and stuff. It's like, I don't know how you messed that show up so badly. Whatever. There's a reason why they didn't make those anymore. Just because of Netflix, but yeah, not great. So we'll see how this Punisher special is, but it is a special, so it's not like a series or anything, but they can pump that out probably pretty quickly. But I would assume it'll tie in either before or after we see him in the Daredevil show. Would be my guess. I don't know. So cool. We're getting a brand new animated Avatar: The Last Airbender series. It is.
Wait, you're just saying a new season, right?
No, new show. It will be the Avatar after Korra.
Oh,
so it's in the universe.
Animated,
I shouldn't. It's from the original creators of the show of Avatar: The Last Airbender, the original people, and it will be. I guess I shouldn't say The Last Airbender, an Avatar, not the blue people, the the Bender show series. It'll be after Korra, the Avatar after Korra, an Earthbender after Korra.
Wait, so a new Avatar. That's like the center of the show.
Correct.
Wow. Yeah. Who are they making it with? Not Netflix, I assume.
Nickelodeon.
Oh, okay.
It's a Nickelodeon. It's already greenlit by Nickelodeon. 26 episode order already greenlit. So they're Earthbender. They have apparently the world is in dire straits after Korra, after her time as the Avatar, and there's not a lot of safe places, I guess.
They use after an avatar kicks it. It
Yeah.
seems.
So yeah. So they have a twin sibling. I don't know if it was a sister or brother or whatever, but and they're becoming the Avatar, I guess. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, there'll be an Earthbender to start.
I thought they were doing some.
They are doing
Aang
the
thing.
Aang.
Okay.
Yeah. So we'll get
Jeez.
those characters. They started a whole nother at Avatar Studios is what it's called. Like they have a whole production company just making that stuff because that show is so popular. That the original show. I don't think Korra is as popular. I wasn't a big fan of Korra. So
yeah, well, they fumbled Korra, so
yeah, they sure did.
Also, having it be on Nickelodeon isn't really.
Well, I mean, it's Nickelodeon is the company that owns it, but I don't know if it'll be on Nickelodeon specifically.
I was like, if they want to make any money, you can't have it on. Nobody has Nickelodeon TV or whatever they call it.
I'm certain it'll be on. It's Paramount, Paramount Plus. It'll be on Paramount Plus, guaranteed. Okay. That Paramount owns Nickelodeon. It's the Paramount company. Viacom.
Back in the day, they no, he was on Nickelodeon, but they would have like you can watch episodes at our website, but it was only like 3 episodes, and so they've done that stuff before.
Yeah, but it's not. It's not the. We're in a very new day, Andrew. Yes. We're in a whole new world at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, Korra. We'll see how they do. I'm assuming those were the original people that made Korra as well. So, I mean,
okay, Korra wasn't that bad. I doubt you watched the whole thing.
I watched quite a bit of it. I've once again, it's something I think I can get the gist if I've seen 2 of like the 3 seasons or whatever there was. Mm-hmm. I've seen quite a bit of that show.
Honestly, I expected to be pretty in line with how Korra was. I think the original story of the first Avatar was just too good. It was like lightning in a bottle. I don't think you can capture it again. I think you can still have like cool bending and stuff like that. But
I would say the live action show wasn't horrible. Wasn't great either. So
that wasn't good at all.
It wasn't horrible. No,
that was not good at all.
I would say that's infinite. That show is infinitely better than the movie we got. So that is horrible.
I mean, if you want to, but that doesn't mean
it wasn't
because that was really bad doesn't mean that wasn't bad.
It was okay. It was fine.
Slightly better than bad.
Okay, sure. But yeah, we'll see. I mean, I don't know. Going new, I don't know how that'll go. I would have probably preferred before Aang and not after Aang and Korra, but
before Aang's already been talked about, though.
I'm sure there's an avatar that they have not talked about. They showed like a billion avatars before Aang. I'm sure there's one of them they could have done a show about. Not right before Aang. I'm saying. Like,
I see. Wait. Yeah, I thought you meant like Roku, but no, his whole life.
No, that's and then they'll have to deal with the people who make like the Roku TVs and stuff. That they don't want to deal with all that. But I'm thinking like way before,
I think it's fine. They clearly want the world state of what they made with Korra. Because there's like spirits and stuff.
No, I get it. Yeah. I get it. It's just, I don't care. Anyway, all right. So let's talk about some movements in different companies here that produce one specific product that people like. Well, I mean, one of them is 2, but we'll talk about the first one first. Amazon has bought out basically the longtime producers of James Bond The longtime producers, so um, Barbara Broccoli and Michael G. Wilson, they've produced. Barbara Broccoli basically inherited it from her father, Cubby Broccoli, who is the original producer on James Bond since the beginning. They have been basically the creative stewards of James Bond since the beginning. So they picked the bonds and all that stuff. They had full creative control. And majority would control. So United Artists originally would produce and distribute the movie, and then that got morphed into, what's it called when it's like brought in to merged MGM. So MGM, and then MGM got bought by Amazon. So that included James Bond. So since then, and since Daniel Craig has finished, we have gotten nothing about James Bond. There was rumors of people, but they have not picked a James Bond, and it is believed because Amazon and Barbara Broccoli basically said Amazon are a bunch of morons, and she didn't like any of the pitches really, and they didn't like any of the choices for James Bond. So she was basically holding it hostage, probably for good, to be honest with you. And they paid them a reported number. We don't know for sure. A rumored number. We don't know for sure. But $1 billion with a B, to give up creative control of James Bond.
Oh, so they're no longer in the picture now.
Well, I mean, they'll be around, but they're not. They don't have creative control, so they can't shut down any Bond picks or anything. And, Amazon will call the shots, and they pick any director they want,
So James Bond is dead. That's what I'm hearing.
That's what everybody thinks. I think pretty much everyone in the world, on the face of the planet, thinks James Bond is doomed now because Amazon's in control. No, the only person that I have talked to or listened to on a podcast or anything that has said anything contrarian to, oh my God, rip James Bond, is Dad. He thinks now they can get Christopher Nolan to make a Bond movie, and he can put Henry Cavill as James Bond, and they can make a $1 billion Bond movie. But I mean, they could. But also, I think that would be like a one-time shot.
Problem with that, yeah, it would be a one-time shot. Although, what he is pitching would probably be pretty good if they need to not use their own people at Amazon because they don't know what they're doing. Almost all of their shows backfire. Nobody likes. I think the only thing is like The Boys and Invincible I think that's the only things I watch from them. So,
I mean, I think the Jack Ryan and Reacher, that kind of stuff does well, but I think those are boring. So if they made those like they made the kind of feel for James Bond, I think that would be boring.
Even those shows they're not really too sophisticated on story or anything. It's very punch.
Mm-hmm.
I'm Jack Reacher. I'm big sort of show, which is fine. I enjoy it. I've seen it. But yeah, it's nowhere. You need something complex when it comes to James Bond, and I don't know if they could pull that off.
Yeah, I like James Bond. I've seen every James Bond movie. I know quite a bit of the lore. There's been many times in the James Bond history, there's been rights issues with James Bond, and that's the reason why there wasn't another Pierce Brosnan one. That's because he was going to come back, but there was a rights issue for several years, so he didn't come back, and they got a new one. That's when Daniel Craig happened. Like there was a problem with the rights, and they made a different name, like a competing company brought Sean Connery back to do a James Bond in the 80s, and then that's why Roger Moore, being old as dirt, made another James Bond movie that was bad. They try to bring new blood in. There's been lots of turmoil in the past, and they've gotten through it with the Broccoli family, basically. But James Bond isn't particularly popular. I mean, they still do well. I mean, that last one still did well, but they had the COVID problem and they got pushed back, blah, blah, blah. I mean, Skyfall made $1 billion. So it's been done. It's just, there's just always a lot. It's always a problem. There's always drama. Daniel Craig said he'd rather slit his wrist than do James Bond, and then he did 2 more. So, we'll see what happens. But I have little faith in Amazon specifically. I mean, the last Amazon thing that I saw, I believe, was that movie with Reese Witherspoon and Will Ferrell. So,
Yeah, not great.
Red One. I mean, it's not,
Yeah. Yeah, unless they do something like Dad's saying, where they go outside of their norm and get, a new vision, anything they come up with, I think who was they? The Broccoli? Is that what you said?
Yeah, Broccoli. Well, her father was the original producer, and then she worked on it with her father, and then he died. So, and then I think
I'm sure they're right. I'm sure it's
I'm sure what they were giving them was
scripts.
she was just like no, and who they wanted. I don't think they were looking for a new Bond, and that stalled. Like all the choices they said weren't great. I mean, there was a bunch of leaked auditions, like screen tests for when Daniel Craig was picked, including Henry Cavill was one of the screen tests that they showed. Rupert Friend, Sam Worthington, and somebody else. I can't remember who the fourth one was. I've watched them. All of them are pretty bad. Henry Cavill is like the most wooden thing I've ever seen. So I mean, he was in contention before. So we'll see. But this is now. I mean, the rumor was what's his name, Aaron Taylor Johnson, but then Craven and stuff happened, so he's pretty much out of contention. So, I don't know. I'm worried because I actually like James Bond. I know it's not like, I feel like it's more older people that like James Bond at this point, but
finally, something Daniel loves will now get ruined.
I mean, plenty of things that I like got ruined. I don't know what you're talking about, but that's okay.
I feel like most of the time you're like, who cares? I didn't watch this whatever show. Who cares what the fans think? No, now that it's you.
I mean, sure. I mean, I've gone into things and been very. I mean, I think Guardians of the Galaxy is disappointing. That third Guardians of the Galaxy, people love that movie. So, yeah. I mean,
there's nothing to love about that movie. There was things that were fine, but yeah.
I mean, people like that movie a lot. But I mean, I liked Shazam, and that second movie was poo-poo. So, I mean,
oh, come on.
What? It's true.
You were not the same kind of fan as Shazam to James Bond. No way.
I'm trying to think. I mean, that Avatar movie, I remember when that came out. I remember that was the first time I was supremely and utterly, I was like, I think I became a movie critic after seeing that movie. I was like, that movie is dog dumps, man. That movie sucks. So there's things that I've really enjoyed that they've ruined. I mean, most of the time, if ever I remember when I would watch a TV show like a new premiering TV show, if I liked that TV show, most of the time that's the show that gets canceled. So I don't even get to get the bad season or a bad movie, because those are usually. I mean, I like Dungeons and Dragons a lot, and we're never getting another one of those. So, most of the time, the stuff that I like is the stuff that doesn't even get to a second anything, much less get something disappointing. So, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
But I mean, now they can do a Spectre show, a M show, a Q show, whatever spinoff.
Oh, make it very franchised.
Yeah,
Oof.
franchisee. So, well, the James Bond franchise is now in a weird state of flux, mystery. We'll see how that goes. Another big franchise. Moving to this other big franchise. Kathleen Kennedy is reportedly going to step down as the head of Lucasfilm. By the end of this year, Kathleen Kennedy, and this is reported by all the big trades like Variety and stuff. It was like little tiny trades before, but now we're at like Variety and Hollywood Reporter are talking about this. Kathleen Kennedy's step down, retire, whatever you want to say, as head of Lucasfilm. We do not have a successor announced or anything. But yep. So Star Wars will be under somebody else's control there. I mean, still Disney, but yeah. So that's big news. It only took like 5 or 6 years for the people online complaining about her to actually be gone. Well, she isn't gone yet, but
I think it's like longer than that. It's
yeah,
like
well, all those
crazy
guys
amount
that
of
were
time.
like, "Oh, I hear she's going. I hear she's going. I hear she's going." They're finally right. It only took like
Oh,
800 times of saying it, but
yeah, yeah.
So she was in charge since 2012 when George Lucas kicked it over to Disney for millions and millions and millions of dollars. And anything since the Force Awakens till now has been under her. So the last thing under her will be Andor season 2. So yeah. So yeah, I mean, it's good news, I guess. I mean,
I think if something comes out after her and it's worse, you hired someone really, really bad. If it's worse
or
than what we're getting.
or just maybe you can't blame her. Maybe there's somebody else to blame. Maybe it's
Whoever they put in charge.
Maybe it's not just solely one human being's problem. Maybe it's an entire company under another company. Maybe it's a
I would
Disney
assume
problem.
a lot more people will get cleaned out with her. I would assume. But
Maybe it's not just her. Maybe it's a Disney problem. Maybe she was fine, and they're telling her, "Hey,
I
do this."
really doubt that. But yeah, I see what you're saying.
I feel like she gets a lot more blame than actually is necessary, but also,
so
I'm
did
not a big
George
fan either.
Lucas.
George Lucas. The prequels aren't spectacular either. They're better than what we got now. That's for sure. Those new trilogy.
All I'm saying is, Star Wars has had such a low. I feel like there's only up to go. You know what I mean? So
does this leave an opening for George Lucas to return?
I don't.
So.
Maybe they'll finally let him like consult and stuff.
Yeah,
but I don't think. He's got to be older than dirt at this point. I don't think he wants to work on a project.
Yeah. I'm hoping it's not Filoni. I don't want to see his characters all over the place. I'm not interested in that. So I'm hoping it's not him. Honestly, I'm hoping it's just like some unknown, like a new person. It's not like Filoni or Favreau or whatever. I hope it's just. I'd rather have them being creatives and like making things than being the an executive, a studio head.
Yeah, I don't. I wouldn't be like mad if it was Filoni, but I think he does better work on just working on
Yeah,
something specific than
right.
being the
The
head of
creative.
everything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
I still think he should be helpful in that creative process, but I
Right.
don't think he should be the head of it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Um, I don't know. I'm cautiously optimistic for that. We haven't gotten any like we haven't gotten a Star Wars movie since what like 2019. So yeah, I mean, hopefully they can. Whoever comes in can cancel that Ray movie, um, and they can just start afresh. Um,
I thought that was already canceled.
it was rumored canceled. No, we don't. You know, I
Okay.
mean, to be honest, are we going to see any movies? I don't know. We haven't seen any movies. Haven't had any actual like, you know, other than maybe Sean Levy movie. Maybe James Mangold was supposed to be making a movie. You know, we have all these movies that have, you know, there's an unmemorable amount of movies that they've announced. Ryan Johnson, the people, the Game of Thrones guys, Patty Jenkins, Taika Waititi, Kevin Feige. Like the names are endless of movies that they said they're
Mm.
gonna make. So, but Kathleen Kennedy leaving is big news. We'll see who they get to replace. I don't know. The TV shows have been incredibly hit or miss. The movies are non-existent at this point. So the only one I think we're getting for sure is the Mandalorian and Grogu. I think it's in post-production. I think they've already shot it. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
And we're supposed to get that movie next year, I believe. So that'd be our first Star Wars movie in like 6 years, 7 years. So yeah. Hope for the best, I guess.
Right. Well, if the next movie that they do make is good, I think it'll feel good. I mean, like,
Yeah.
I'll be like, finally,
Yeah.
something good.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll see what happens. All right. Ready to talk about some trailers here?
Mm-hmm.
All
Yeah.
right. On the train here. Short one today. Andor season 2. Speaking of Star Wars, we got a trailer for first look for our newest season of the show that was very critically acclaimed from what I see in all these reviews in this trailer. Um,
True.
I liked the first season of Andor. I don't think I was. Everyone seems to like, salivate over the show. I thought it was good. I didn't think it was fantastic or anything. Um, I liked it though.
It's just one of those to me, it's just the Rogue One situation where it was like the one bright spot in a lot of bad Star Wars
Mm,
flicks. And since that was the only thing good, it becomes great.
yeah, I mean, I like
But
I think I like the Mandalorian more than I like Andor. And it's funny that you say it's like the Rogue One because it's a character from Rogue One. Is literally
yeah,
Rogue One.
that's true.
And this
Yeah.
season is going to lead up to Rogue One. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so, well, at least you'll get some good backstory on the characters. You're getting backstory on the characters because, I mean, in Rogue One, it's the beginning, middle, and end for those characters. So, you
Yeah.
know, at least this is more about him. I think Andor himself isn't like the most interesting character on the show, so it's kind of funny.
Nope.
But I mean, I liked it. I'm definitely down to watch this season. I'm excited that it's a Star Wars thing that I like. I like The Mandalorian. I like Andor. There's not much else in Star Wars. I mean, I like the animated Star Wars stuff more than anything else. I mean, not like the Clone Wars or whatever, but like the newer stuff that I like, the kind of the where they did the anime show and the
Yeah.
Tales of the Jedi. I thought was good. So we'll see what happens with this season. Hopefully, I think it's dangerous saying everyone loved the first season so much in a trailer. But what did you think of the trailer?
Thought the song choice was weird.
Yep. Everyone seems to think that. I think that as well. I mean, I like the song, but I think they're
I
trying to
mean,
go
like
more
the show
fun.
itself looks good.
Yeah, it
Huh?
does. I think they're going for fun, maybe.
Yeah, which I don't think that first season of Andor, I don't think
Yeah,
that was the vibe that it gave was
yeah,
fun. So the vibe check on this is like so weird.
yeah. I certainly hope that the vibe of the show isn't exactly like the first season, and then this is the trailer you give for it, because that is weird to do that. So hopefully it is exciting show the second season.
Yeah, I just even like you said, it's fun. That song was like fun, and that was
Yeah.
so. I'm not saying the show can't be fun. I'm just saying it's such a departure from what we got and what people liked that if it's like all happy-go-lucky
I don't
kind of
think
show, it'll be weird take.
I'm hoping it's more, because like this now they're like fully like kind of outlaw type thing. So if they're gonna go for like more exciting action, fast paced, them being on the run
Mm-hmm.
type stuff, slick action
Kind of like
thriller.
smuggler
Yeah, if they're
type of
going for
Han
like
Solo thing.
yeah, if they're going for like slick action thriller, then this um trailer does its job. But if you're gonna bait and switch it with this fun trailer and stuff, and then the show's like kind of dour like the first season was, it's gonna be weird.
I mean, that's what I was expecting. It was kind of almost like a spy
Yeah,
thriller type of
exactly.
thing.
Yeah, yeah.
If they're not gonna do that this time, because they've set it up for still
Yeah,
more spying and
yeah,
the Empire's gonna get us, and
yeah,
that didn't look like that.
yeah. Well, we got Ben Mendelsohn back as that character from Rogue One, which I like him as that character, so I'm down with that. I mean, we'll see how it goes. I'm optimistic about this show because I did like the first season, and I think this trailer was pretty good. It is a teaser, but that show comes out in April, so not that far away. Less than 2 months away. So we'll see how that goes. But I hope for the best on that. So this next trailer here. So there was one trailer that I watched, but it um, it was a thriller. It's also on Amazon, called Holland with Nicole Kidman, but is a thriller. And then another trailer came out today that is also on Amazon. That's a thriller that I thought looked more interesting, and there was more stuff to talk about with it. So I decided to do that trailer instead. So this is Another Simple Favor, a sequel to a movie from many years ago now, called A Simple Favor with Blake Lively and Anna Kendrick. Blake Lively has been in the news lately because she was in a movie last year called It Ends With Us, with Justin Baldoni, and there's been accusations back and forth between the two parties,
They're like suing each other,
all that stuff. And then in this movie, she's like revenge
person.
and so this is very interesting from what
She's
we're
playing
getting
her
here.
role in real life, is what you're saying.
Yeah, but we don't know who's telling the truth. We don't know what's going on for sure. People have been taking sides. I don't know what's going on enough to make my my judgment call on anything. Nor do I really care. But all I know is that I thought A Simple Favor sucked buttholes. So I don't know why we're getting a second one. I must have did well. It was Paul Feig who did Bridesmaids and Heat
I've
and
never heard of the movie, so I couldn't have
Spy.
done that well.
Yeah, I mean, I thought that movie was lame as hell. There's twists in the movie that it made no sense, and I thought were weird and disturbing. So I don't know why they made another one. I'll take a look and see how much. What did you think of this trailer?
Mm, I mean, I'm personally not interested at all. I thought the trailer itself didn't look. It looked completely skippable to me. Uh, just like a girls' night out type of movie is kind of the vibe I'm getting. I don't even think on that scale it'll do. Like, usually those movies can do pretty good, but I don't think this one has any legs, really. I think it's just the star power that they have. That's about it.
Yeah, the first one was made for 20 million and it made 90 million. So it did make a profit. I don't know if this one is made for that much or whatever, but if it is, I mean, it can make a profit. But yeah, this is the Amazon MGM Studios movie here. So this is
Not surprised. Not
this is
surprised.
who's in charge of James Bond. So we'll see how this goes.
Yeah, James Bond's going to be a ladies' night out movie now.
Yeah, I'm just worried. I don't. I thought the first movie sucked. I don't really care. I don't really know what's happening with the other stuff. So, and it's kind of just weird. The timing is weird. Yeah, I don't get it. And I don't get Blake Lively either. I never thought she was that interesting. I don't think she's a particularly good actress. Um, and I don't know. She was supposed to be like cool and she wears like men's tuxes and stuff, and that was like what was cool about her in the first movie. And I was like, I don't know what's cool about her. I don't get it, and it's just the same character again. So
You just don't get it, Daniel. You don't
I
get
just don't get it.
fashion.
I guess not. I mean, I wear shorts and a t-shirt every day, so I don't. I really don't. But whatever. Um, just the timing was interesting. That's about it. I'm not really interested in this movie. Cool. Thank you so much for watching part of the Daniel and Andrew show. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and hit that bell so you never miss a notification of a brand new video. If you don't like looking at our faces, no problem. There's always a full audio version of the podcast wherever you find your podcast. Thanks, and enjoy.